EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 8th, 2019. For your Friday, we're expecting a cold front to move through this morning, and we'll have a few showers ahead of that will basically end before noon or a couple hours before noon. And we'll have after the cold front moves through, temperatures are going to drop. They're going to be very mild this morning. Temperatures in the 50s in many locations ahead of this frontal boundary. But as the cold air advects behind that front, you're going to notice the winds pick up, and you have wind gusts in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range. You also have temperatures dropping off from those earlier highs and will steadily fall through the 40s and then the 30s throughout the day. So not expecting a flash freeze today, especially since we're expecting the windy conditions to pick up this afternoon with that cold air advecting. That should dry out any of the roads that are wet this morning. And we're not worried about any icing or anything like that. So it should be okay once this moves through and it pushes completely through. We'll have the temperatures drop, but we're expecting the winds to dry out the roadway. So here's a look at the NAM high-res future simulated radar starting off at 7 o'clock in the morning. And you can see some showers ahead of the cold front, which at this point is all the way back here. And this is all ahead of it moving eastward. So that's what we're dealing with this morning. It says 7, this is 8, this is 9, this is 10. And then we get to 11 and noon. At noon, it's about ready to head off the coast, and we're starting to see the 32-degree line start creeping eastward, and that will continue to do so with time. So by the time we get later in the afternoon, this is looking at 5 p.m. And everywhere in Pennsylvania except extreme southeastern Pennsylvania nearest the Philadelphia metro will be at or below freezing at that point, and it's about ready to come into New Jersey at that point too. But again, windy this afternoon with the cold air advect, so we're not expecting the roadways to freeze on surfaces or any of the surfaces for that matter. So everything should be able to dry out. Once they get through the overnight period, it's still going to be a little bit breezy, and then we're going to get into Saturday, mostly sunny day expected. High pressure is going to move in, so the winds are going to start calming down. Maybe a little breezy in the morning, but after that, we should start settling down as high pressure moves in. And then we are starting off partly cloudy here on Sunday. We have an increase in clouds later in the day with a system moving in from the west, very weak system moving from the west. This is going to give us some snow showers, we think. Now, the GFS is the latest GFS I'm using here. It's not very thrilled with these snow showers as they were before, and it kind of falls apart. But if we look over at the NAM that ran this evening also, you can say simulated radar off the longer range NAM, and this is looking at Sunday evening, and you can see some snow showers working in. Not a whole lot of snow here. There's a lot of coating to inch type stuff, maybe a little bit more than an inch as you get down towards Philadelphia, southern Pennsylvania, central New Jersey might end up seeing 1 to 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Maybe northern Delaware gets in on that too. But for the most part, this is just something that you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to have to dust off your cars, and that's pretty much it. So not really a map-worthy type deal, but this should move out pretty quickly during the overnight period, and we are left high and dry behind that. So a couple hours of light snow showers looks like it's going to be, and that's it. And then we go into the rest of Monday. Monday is going to be just a pretty much a cloudy day with this system off to our south. Now, this next system is the bigger one, and then we've been talking about this all week and you know, explained how the models were having difficulty with this with the split flow jet, the Pacific. I went into very specific detail with that in yesterday's video. These are all archived. You can watch that again to see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to kind of go through that again. But with the split flow, you do have some modeling discrepancies and volatility. So run to run, you'll have changes that are pretty dramatic. And I mean, we're looking at the 18 ZGFS and had a pretty good snow event across the region. The 12 ZGFS had a pretty good snow event across the region. The new one is a little more realistic, and I'm probably in line with what I'm thinking is going to end up happening, which is going to be a front end thump of snow going over to ice, and then eventually rain. Very similar in a lot of ways to that pre-Thanksgiving storm, the week before Thanksgiving. You remember that back in November, the first system we had, and we had that front-end thump of snow, and you saw the areas that got that. I don't know if it's going to be exactly that much for those areas, and I probably wouldn't side for that much just yet, but you know, it's the same general concept. Okay, I do think we're going to start off with snow, then it's going to go over to sleet, then maybe some freezing rain, and then rain. All right, so that's what we're dealing with this system, I think, and this is what the GFS is showing this evening. Now, we're still not going to be able to know what exactly how much of a thump you get on the front end here until we get to probably Saturday. All right, so we're not ready for any kind of first calls or anything like that, but this is a pretty good thump shown on the GFS of 2 to 4, 3 to 6 type snowfall. You know, I mean, so it's not like it's nothing. but then it does change over in subsequent frames and goes over to sleet, freezing, rain. You can see that here with the oranges and the pinks here, but further south it's changed over to rain, and that will end as some light rain. It doesn't look like it's going to be a heavier rain. You see that coastal system is trying to form here at the end, but it's now shown on the GFS to do so too late. Okay, so you will get, because of the fact that you have very strong high pressure that is initially in place over southeastern Quebec, which is right here. It's going to allow the cold air to be funneled into the system at the onset. So we'll have enough cold air at the onset for the snow to start off that way, or precipitation to start off as snow. And I do think it will just about everywhere. It's just a matter of how long it holds on and how much of a thump of snow you get, how much heavier precipitation you get in the beginning before it changes over will determine how much you get out of the system. And it could be a significant snowfall. Again, it could be a 2 to 4, 3 to 6, 4 to 8 in some areas possibly. And the 4 to 8 will probably be up here. But still, you have the idea that this could certainly still produce significant snowfall. Monday night is what it's looking like for this to come in on the GFS, and then changing over during the course of Tuesday morning, which you see here, and then Tuesday afternoon you get some residual light rain before this ends Tuesday night. So timing is also not settled. It could be anywhere from, we have some models that are showing starting Tuesday morning, ending Wednesday morning. So if you look at our local forecasts, you actually see both days the chance of rain/snow on both days, because this still has to be figured out. We'll know better probably by Saturday. Exactly on the evolution, and then we'll start working on amounts after that point. But this is going to be a rough couple of days here trying to figure out these amounts. Remember that Thanksgiving storm we had? We had some areas here getting very little, and then the cold hung on a little bit longer and got a little bit more of a surprise. That can certainly happen. It could go the other direction too, where it could warm up faster than projected. So it's going to be one of those kind of last-minute changes type deals I foresee coming with this kind of system. Very tricky. But once you get past this, we are back to seasonable temperatures here for Wednesday and Thursday. And if this doesn't work out and it's not to your liking, and you maybe wanted a big snowstorm and it's not going to work out, we're entering a 4-week stretch here, folks. I think if we're going to have an active pattern continuing. I'm going to do the long range, update the long range on Friday morning, and I will discuss that. But looking at a 4-week period generally between now and between the 1st and 2nd week of March, we finally flip to spring and never look back, I don't think, at that point. But we do have a opportunity for more wintry systems coming in behind this. This is not the only be-all, end-all system, so don't get your hopes dashed completely for any kind of snowfall. And this is still counts towards the total. If you get 4 inches of snow and goes to rain, that's still 4 inches that goes to the annual total anyway. But might not be exactly how you wanted it to do. Would have drawn it up, but it is what it is. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martis. That is your outlook for February 8th, 2019. Have a great Friday.